Welcome to The Balancing Act, the podcast for mastering work, wealth and well-being, with me, your author and host, Sarah Brennand. Here we explore conversations, insights and expert advice through the lens of what truly drives high performance and sustainable success, aligning your money and mission, strengthening your mental and physical health, and creating a more intentional work-life balance. Each week, I'm joined by leaders, professionals and specialists who share how they navigate their own balancing act, along with practical tools and strategies that you can apply in yours. In today's episode, I'm joined by Steve Judge, motivational speaker, author and two-time Paratriathlon World Champion. After a near-fatal car accident left both legs crushed and doctors questioning whether he would ever walk again, Steve embarked on a remarkable journey of recovery, resilience and achievement. Through years of rehabilitation, disciplined goal setting and an unwavering focus on what was possible, he built his life and went on to represent Great Britain on the world stage. In this conversation, we explore what it really takes to overcome adversity, why getting to the start line is often the hardest and most important part of any journey, and how self-care, mindset and purposeful goals create the foundations for sustainable success. So, whether you're managing a personal challenge, pursuing an ambitious goal, or looking for inspiration to keep moving forward, this episode is packed with valuable lessons and perspective. Let's get started. Well, welcome Steve. Thank you for joining me today. It's a real privilege to have you here. The title for today's podcast is If You Can't Get to the Start Line, You Can't Even Compete. And I know this is something that means a lot to you personally. So let's start with what this means to you in the context of your story and your own balancing act.
Oof. Nice to meet you, see you again, and nice to chat. I'm looking forward to this. So, if you can't get to the start line, you can't even compete. This is something I came up with when I was an elite athlete. I was getting to the start lines and I was seeing that some of my friends weren't there. You know, where's John and where's Lucas? And somebody told me that they were injured and I was absolutely gutted for them because I knew how important it was as an athlete to get to that start line. And so I learned from that. I learned that I needed to make sure that I could get to the start line. That was really important, as much as important as competing in swim, bike and run. And what I mean by that is looking after myself so that I didn't get injured. And so it's very much about my physical health, doing the warming up, the warming down, the stretching, the yoga and all of that. And I think I've then transferred that over to my business world and what I share with other people and asking them, making sure that they can get to their start line. Are they looking after themselves, both physically and mentally, so that they can go and do the things that they want to do? That could be business, it could be family time, it could be spending time with their friends, the thing that they love doing, their start line. Are they looking after themselves so that they can do the things that they really want to do? So that's where it comes from.
Thank you. And I absolutely agree that is so important, that self-care and proactive, doing it in a proactive way to enable you to get there. Is this something that have you always had that approach? And how has your journey and your story shaped your philosophy?
Ooh, have I always? I'm hesitating. So I guess in a way I have, but it was more emphasised when there's something that's really, really, really important. Representing Great Britain, World Championships coming up, that's really important. I need to make sure that I'm there because I would be absolutely gutted if I wasn't. So I think a lot of these things that I've come up with or things that I do now have been emphasised because of my journey. So in a way, the answer is yes, they've always been there, but I think you don't always realise. As an engineer, I was always getting problems and finding solutions. In scouting, I was always about the badges that you get down your arm, trying different things and working out what works and what doesn't work. You didn't think too much of it until you get later on in life. You think, oh, okay, there's little badges everywhere in life. It's about grabbing those opportunities and seeing what you can do. Keeping fit and healthy as a teenager, my 20s, you kind of take for granted, but then you suddenly realise in your 30s and 40s how essential that is. And the looking after yourself, I think you probably understand more as you get older with the aches and pains and things like that. But it's very important about realizing what you need to do to make that happen. And again, I'm very much about goal setting, and for me it's about giving yourself time. So wellness is about taking action so that you can keep taking action. As an elite athlete, I had to like categorize what I was going to do to make sure that I was fit and well. Make sure you warm up, make sure you warm down, make sure you do the stretching, make sure you have a day off, make sure you do the visual, the nutrition, the equipment check, all of these things. And it's so essential. So the classic thing is injury prevention. Injury prevention is strange because you don't see any results. You just don't get injured, and that is the crucial bit. So the same with mental health. You know, you don't see any results by sharing and talking and looking after your mental health. You just don't end up with mental health problems. And so this is why a lot of people struggle to do the action, to do the physical stuff and the mental stuff, because you don't see any results from it. All you see is if you don't do it, that's when you get, you know, an injury, or you get stressed, or you get anxious, or things don't quite work or go according to plan. And then you regret it. You think, damn, I should have done that sharing stuff. I should have done the talking thing, and I should have done the stretching thing. And it's too late though, isn't it? It's too late now. So it's about having that foresight. And I think that's what I got as an elite athlete, and that's what I've carried forward into my business.
Yeah, I think they're really powerful statements actually, and reminders that, because I think goals can quite often be this tangible thing that we can see that we want to go towards and that we want to have or achieve. But what you've highlighted there is the importance of ensuring that we aren't injured, that we don't prevent ourselves from getting to the start line, I guess, coming back to kind of where we started. So talk me through your journey to an elite athlete, because I think it's one that you just talk very casually about, you know, like everybody could do this thing and these things that you've learned from it. But I know you have a real unique story, and one that that I think, you know, a lot of listeners will learn a lot from a resilience and a mindset perspective.
Okay, so my journey, I'll make it as short and sweet as possible. So I won't go into my childhood because that'd be like too much, but I've mentioned it a little bit already. So let's go to 2002. So that's what, like 24 years ago. I had a near fatal car accident. I didn't do anything wrong. My car skidded on a sort of patch of water, careered off the road, and it bent the car in half, and both my legs were crushed in that accident. The emergency services took about an hour and a half to cut the car apart, reaching into the wreckage, dragging me out along with what was left of my legs. They mercy dashed me to the nearest hospital, where they saved my life and they saved my legs the best they could. But when I woke up 8.5 hours later, much as they'd saved my legs, they also told me the devastating news that I may never walk again. And that was a catalyst moment for me. It's very much like a fight or flight situation, as in I could have just rolled over in bed and gone, okay, I guess I'll never walk again. Or, well, for me, I felt really angry that somebody had said that to me, and I wanted to prove them wrong. And I guess this is the fight in a way. And that's where my journey started, about setting goals and working towards them. I wanted to stand again. I wanted to walk again. I was very passionate about it. And I'm probably going to use that word a lot, because that's what the whole sync is about, knowing what you want, why you want it. And so you want it so much that you will move mountains. You do anything to go forward and achieve it. And I think survival and your health is one of the highest things. And if that doesn't get you going, then you've got issues that you probably need therapy for. So for me, my health, my survival, to stand again, to walk again, set goals, work towards them, did the rehabilitation thing, took about 1.5 years, 2 years. Eventually, I did manage to grow my leg back. I did manage to stand, did manage to walk again. But then I wanted to, in a way, I wanted to prove the accident wrong. I was quite angry still about the accident, and I wanted to make sure it hadn't had a detrimental effect on my life. So in a way, I went forward and set new goals, more physical goals, to do that.
And is that mindset, is because, you know, in just, you know, a very short period of time, that sounds very positive from a place of frustration and anger, actually, but you quickly turned it into, I will achieve, I will, you know, watch me do this. Is that a mindset that you have always had and carried through, or is that something you've had to work on independently? Have there been other people that have really helped you direct yourself?
Yeah, I must admit, I do make it sound like a bit of a Rocky montage, doesn't it? That I just woke up in hospital and started doing all this rehabilitation. There were many, many down periods, tears, depression, stress, why me kind of thing. And, you know, I've whizzed through 2 years and there's so many ups and downs, mainly downs. It was not a good period of time. All I was doing was rehabilitation. All I was doing was physio. It was boring, painful, monotonous, but I was very fixed on the goal. To me, I think it wasn't necessarily a mindset, a positive mindset. It was more of I was told what to do, so I did it. So and that's how I've probably been brought up. Not in a strict family or anything, but as in, you know, if somebody who you love and trust and respect tells you to do something, then I went ahead and I did it. Whether it's my mum, my dad, the teachers, the scout leaders, sports coaches or anything like that. If I trusted them, then I went and did it. And so this is what I did in my rehabilitation. I was kind of like very focused on that. I always compare it a bit to Forrest Gump. If you've watched the film, you know, he's told to do stuff like, you know, assemble a rifle or to play ping pong or whatever. He's just told what to do and he does it, and he does it to a high level. And some people say it's easy, isn't it? You just do what people tell you to do. And you think, yeah, it is in that sense, but it's not. It's very difficult to keep doing it. So I think that's what I've had in my upbringing, my very headstrong about what I wanted and just do the stuff that you need to do to get there.
Mm-hmm. And at what point did you decide, you know, once you were able to walk again and keeping health as a focus, at what point did you decide that being a world champion was on your list of goals?
It was way down. So again, I did not wake up in hospital going, I want to be a world champion. I woke up in hospital just thinking, I want to survive. I just need to eat food, drink water, breathe, and just survive. And it's very much a stepping stone. So yes, as I've said, walked again, and then I was like more physical. What can I do with this body that I've got? And I'm disabled in both legs, so I've got disability, and it's about thinking about what I could do rather than what I couldn't do. So I could swim, so I swam. Eventually I got onto a bike and I started cycling. And then I started doing other things, had a family, started working again. Things that people might consider as normal. And I say now that there is no such thing as normal. Everybody's different. And it's about thinking about what you can do rather than what you can't do. So I was doing that, and that was actually 7.5 years, that process of just building my life back, doing things physically, pushing the boundaries a little bit, working out what I can and can't do. And then I started doing a few more events, like I did some swimming and some cycling events for charity. And I realised that what I really needed was some competition. I remember doing a charity cycle ride and I saw somebody in front of me and I pedalled really hard and I overtook them. And as I overtook them, they said, good morning to me. That's all. It wasn't like they were trying to fight back or anything. And I wanted them to compete against me. So after that event, I thought, right, I need to find a competition. So I went on the internet, found this thing called, I was looking for swimming cycling events. I found this thing called a triathlon. I thought, well, maybe I could do the run section with my walking poles or anything. But as I scrolled down, I found this thing called a paratriathlon, swimming, cycling and running for disabled people. And I thought, oh, I wonder with my legs whether I could actually categorise in that and be a disabled athlete. I went down, they tested me out in Loughborough University, assessments and physio and lots of questions. And they said, Steve, you are disabled. And I was like, this is great news, because now I can compete as a disabled athlete. And they said, can you run? And I said, not yet. But now I had a goal. So again, it's back to that goal setting thing. So I now had a goal to do the triathlon, to finish the triathlon, but I got competitive. I looked at last year's results. I realised that I had a chance of doing quite well in my category. I then found out the triathlon that I'd entered was the British Championship. So if I won, I would become British champion. I was like, well, that sounds good. So that my training upped in the swim, the bike, the run. I went down there, I competed, and I crossed the finish line on that day to become British champion. And it's just something that I hadn't really thought about until probably 6 months before. But that's about the opportunities. You know, opportunities around us all the time. You've really got to see them, hear them, smell them, grab hold of them with both hands and do something about it. And that's what I was prepared to do.
Yeah, I think it's important, isn't it, to I think I'm very much an advocate for opportunities, very much for trying things out, having a go. That's how you experience things, learn from them, decide what works for you, the things that you do or don't like, the things that you want to repeat. How do you personally, or how would you recommend to other people that you can stay focused on a goal, so really focused on something that you really, really want, but also but then also keep the blinkers open so that you can see other things that might be, good for you to try as well. It's almost like that tunnel vision, but also keeping an eye on other things that might be good or helpful or better even.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I guess you're talking about distractions in a way, and I'm not the best person. I guess what you've got to do is you will get distracted, and there will be other things and other projects that you do need to do, and some that you want to do, and some that you shouldn't be doing at all. But it's about focusing on the main thing, or the three main things, or the four main things, or maybe the five. I don't know, but not too many of the main things. But work out what those main things are, and really highlight those to yourself. Remind yourself every day. I have a vision board, and part of my morning routine after I've done my exercises, my stretches, is to do my visualization. So I don't do meditation. Meditation doesn't quite work for me. I just end up falling asleep. Whereas the visualization energizes me. So I look at my vision board, which is up here, so I'm going to keep looking up there. I look at my vision board, and I choose one of the things: health, wealth, happiness. Is it to do with my business, my career? Is it what do I want to achieve? Which one of those? And I go, okay, that one. I'm going to choose that one. And I close my eyes and I think about it in as much detail as possible, as though I was there, living it, breathing it, experiencing it, and loving it. And after maybe 5 minutes, I can feel myself smiling. I'm in a good place, and that's when I open my eyes, and that energizes me to take action, because that's what you need to do. And suddenly, all the distractions, they go to one side. I don't see those as much because I'm very focused on that thing that I need to do. I need to send that email. I need to do that thing, that project, that work, that action, and do that. So it doesn't last forever. It's like motivation doesn't last forever. It's very much about putting things into a routine, habits, getting those set up. But every day I remind myself on my vision board, so what are we working on today? Or what are we working on this week? Or what do we need energizing? Because I've not done this project for like 2-3 weeks. Are we dropping that? And I go, no, I love that project. I really want to do that project. Okay, Steve, well, what are we going to do about it? Well, let's visualize it. Let's bring it back into the moment, and let's get excited about it. That's the reason why we chose that project in the first place, was because it was something that excites me, something that energizes me, something that I'm passionate about. So let's go forward and do it. And I know we've got to juggle with time and money and other priorities, but there is enough time. There's only 24 hours in the day, so I'm kind of contradicting myself, but I'm sure you can find like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe an hour to work towards that goal in that day, or even in that week. And that's how I do that. So there are distractions, accept those, but focus on the main thing that you want.
Yeah, I like the idea of having the vision board. Actually, I'm guessing in the room that you're working in, and they, just as you rightly said, those very short windows of time, and actually they could happen between meetings or between swapping work that you're doing in the day, to just emotionally reconnect with the thing that you committed to check the emotions are still as strong as they were, but also to then focus you again, because I think it is so easy nowadays to get distracted, by social media, by multiple online meetings, or running around to see different people. I think having that emotional connection to your goal is really powerful. If you don't mind me asking, how often do you recalibrate or set new ones? Do you wait till you've achieved it and then go, okay, is it because you have multiple goals that they're kind of running, in parallel? Do you have any kind of formal mechanism for reassessing your goals, or recalibrating, or changing them when you need to?
I talk about it a lot, but do I actually do it? This is where you're going to practice what you preach. So thinking about it, I think the main focus is at the beginning of the year. It really is a New Year's resolution, a new year ahead, and I go, right. And I'm going to contradict myself a little bit, because it's very much about focusing on what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
But every now and again, I do look back and just remind myself of all the amazing stuff that I've achieved. Because I sometimes, I haven't achieved as much as I want to, or it's taking a long time. And I'm thinking, yeah, but Steve, you've done so much. You're halfway there. I know you haven't completed it, but look at what you have done. So it's a good pat on the back, all the stuff that I have done, and then it's like, okay, so what are we going to do over the next year, over the next 12 months? And again, it's like, just get 3, because I know that as the year goes on, that will extend to 4 and then 5. So let's start with 3. What are the 3 main ones? But I would do that at the beginning of the year. What I talk about is probably doing it every 3 months. Every 3 months, check in, see where you are, recalibrate, redo, do another 3 months and 3 month stints. That's what I talk about. I don't necessarily do that, which is bad, but because there's other things, and other things come in, and sometimes they are more important. So it might be a cost thing, or it might be a time thing where you've just got to put those other projects to one side. Or it might be a case of, reminding yourself at the beginning of the year, what did you really want to do? Let's get almost like was it like a passion project, people call them. So it's something that it's not necessarily going to further your career or even bring you money in, but it's something that you really, really want. And I think they're just as important sometimes to make sure that you keep up with those.
Absolutely. And just thinking about your sporting career, because I know when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about triathlons in general, actually. And you said, it's going there to kind of win the world champion. That I've done that now. And I now enter races because I enjoy them, because I want to enjoy the race itself or the preparation for the race. Just share a little bit of insight really into that transition from elite competitive sport into doing the same sport more for fun, and the other projects that you've got going for you at the moment. How did you manage that transition?
So I heard this story about David Coulthard, the Formula One driver, who likes speed and adrenaline and stuff. And they say, do you drive like a maniac on the normal roads? He says, no, I don't drive like a maniac because that'd be dangerous. He says, but what I do is I don't leave myself much time. And it's almost like he's still got that addiction of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late, I need that. And I think it's similar to what I did maybe as going from an elite athlete where, at the start line, you're representing Great Britain and you're about to go off and do your swim, the bike, the adrenaline, the preparation, the pressure, it's almost addictive in a way. And it's about finding a replacement of that. And I didn't do it immediately, but I think what I've got now is something that's very similar to that. As I'm about to go out on that stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people, my adrenaline is going. It's like being a rock star at sometimes. The people call it nervousness, but nervousness, excitement, same feeling, different names. So it's excitement. And to make sure that it's right, I have to do all the preparation. I have to do the rehearsals. I have a checklist of what I'm going to pack. I arrive there on time because that relaxes me. I talk to people, and then like half an hour before I'm actually about to go on stage, I don't really hear much because my brain is just like switching off. Almost like survival mode, isn't it? It just switches off what the speaker's talking about. I'm just thinking about myself. What have I got to do? Did I get my mic sorted? Is my clicker there? Is the slides there? And it's that adrenaline. So I think that's how I've transferred from that high level of being an elite athlete to being a global keynote speaker. So you got that, and that sounds, that sounds really impressive as well. But I must admit, let's be open, a lot of my time is spent here in front of this computer screen, and that's not an adrenaline junkie thing at all. It's quite boring at times, but this is what you need to do. So what keeps me doing that? I'm doing this because I know what's coming. Because if I do all of this groundwork, I will get to stand out on the next big stage, or travel the world and get onto the other stages there. So it's about being realistic. Again, like an elite athlete, it wasn't all about competing. There's so much training that you have to do in the morning and in the evening, which nobody sees, and that's not really exciting at all. But you're doing it for the big competition. So I guess there's a really nice transition there. And it's about, taking it seriously. I'm a professional speaker. So I want to make sure that everything goes slick and smooth and professional. So it's making sure, it's asking that question. So I did this as an elite athlete. Getting to the start line was very much asking myself one question before then, was what more can I do? What more can I do? What more can I do? This was 3 months before, swimming, cycling, running, the bike mechanics or the nutrition or the mindset, injury prevention. What more can I do to make sure that my performance is perfect, if that is such a thing? As a speaker, I do the same thing. what more can I do, what more can I do, what more can I do to make sure that I get the message out there, so that I inspire them, motivate them, so it's memorable in a good way, so that they laugh, so that they cry. What more can I do so that so when I come off the stage, I have no regrets. That's what I really want. When I drive home after a speaking gig, I'm asking myself, okay, Steve, was that good? And I go, well, you kind of messed up on that slide. Yeah, but the audience didn't know. I said, yeah, but I know.
Yeah.
So you need to do better, Steve. And you were at the wrong side of the stage there, and you said that word wrong. You didn't get that quote out. So I'm critical on myself, not in a nasty way. It doesn't bring me down, as in I just want to be better and better all the time.
Yeah. I think the self-reflection is really important. And it sounds like you do that quite quickly as well, on the journey home, whilst it's having enjoyed the moment, but then whilst it's still fresh as well, I guess. But in a friend way rather than because that's how we learn, isn't it? That constant process of, and maybe it's more natural having attributed the sporting journey. You have a performance and then you look at the time or the pace or techniques, and then you learn from that, just as you can transfer that over to the business world.
Yeah.
I know you've created or have the model gold that you talk about, that you've written a book on. If you don't mind just sharing a bit of insight into the model and the framework, and how those people listening or watching can apply it.
Absolutely. So I love my gold concept. I always talked about what is your gold, what are you working towards? And people was like, oh, do you mean like a gold medal or like a gold bullion? And I was like, no, not really, because not everybody wants to be a world champion or do something physical, and it's not all about the money of what gold is. And I was trying to work out what gold meant, and I finally came up with an acronym. And us speakers, we love acronyms. So gold for me stands for, what is your goal, what is your opportunity, what is your love, and what is your dream? What is that thing that you really want? What is that thing that you're passionate about, that you're excited about? What is that thing that will get you out of bed at 5:30 in the morning, running around like Billy Whiz? What is that thing that almost that you're embarrassed to share with other people because it's a crazy idea, but actually deep down inside it, it's something that you need? And that would be your gold. Once you know what your gold is, then the system or the 5 winning ways that I've got are your golden vision. So I talked about the vision board. That's where my golden vision is. So what is it that you want? I encourage people to draw a picture of what they want, or get a vision board, or if they want to buy a new car, whatever, go to the car showroom and go and have a look at it, touch it, feel it, sit in it, take a selfie with it. Get that vision inside your head. That's your golden vision. The next one is your golden soul, which is very important. It's your why, really. Why? Why do you want it so much? Why? Because you need to know why. Because on those dark days when you're fed up and you can't be bothered anymore, you've got to remind yourself, why on earth are you doing this? Why are you getting up early? Or why are you pushing yourself or going to these meetings or pushing yourself out of your comfort zone? So reminding yourself why. So again, the exercises that I do are things like 5 questions of why do you want it, what will you have when you get it, what will you lose when you get it, etc. So there's really nice, digs down deep. Number 3 is your golden gear, and your golden gear is all the stuff that you need to actually achieve. This is where the nitty-gritty comes in. This is where you've got to start thinking about the action that you need to do. And it's, for me as an engineer, it's very much reverse engineering. You know what you want, okay, that's up there. So what you need to do, all those things that you need to do, it's like brainstorming. And then once you've got the list or the concept, then you start doing them one by one. You cross them off, your golden gear. Next one is your golden gang. So your golden gang, so I realised throughout my journey that I'd always had people around me when I achieved. I was walking again, I had the NHS who saved my life and helped me with rehabilitation. As an elite athlete, I had so many practitioners that helped me to cross that finish line to grab the gold medal. The gold medal is mine, absolutely. I could say it's Great Britain's, but it's still mine. But there's so many people that helped me. My golden gang helped me to cross that finish line. And now my business, much as it's only me on the stage, I have so many people that have helped me to get there. I don't employ people, but people have helped me, my mastermind group, my friends, my family, my graphic designer, my accountant. You build up your golden gang. So what I ask people is thinking about who's in your golden gang now, but big question is, who do you want in your golden gang, or who do you need in your golden gang that's going to take you up to the next level so that you can reach your gold? And the last one is your golden hour. Your golden hour is striking a line in the sand, a benchmark, but then a deadline. And I must admit, I don't really like deadlines, but they do work. So give yourself a deadline, as in 5 years' time, this is where I want to be. You go, okay, that's great. 5 years time, let's vision that and get excited about that. 5 years time, wow, you've achieved so much. So where do you need to be in 4 years time to get to that level? Where do you need to be in 3 years, 2 years? Where do you need to be at the end of the year to be there? At the end of the month, the week, today? What do you need to do today? What action can you do today that would get you to your 5 year goal? And that's your golden hour. So the 5 winning ways, and this is the concept I've come up with, thinking about my rehabilitation, what I achieved, thinking about being an elite athlete, and now I've actually put it into practice in my business. And this is one of the reasons why I'm a global speaker, 2 times best-selling author, workshops, coaching. I've achieved all of that by using that concept. So I'm at the process now where I really want to, I get excited about it. I want to share it, because some people say, I've got this vision and I know what I want, but I don't know how to achieve it. And I'm like, oh, I know how you can achieve it. I've got the answer. So it's in my book, and let me explain it to you, because I just want people to achieve. Because that's the thing that frustrates me, is that people go through life, they're doing all the talking thing, but they're not doing the achieving thing. And I'm like, this is really frustrating for me. It must be for you as well. So, what can I do to help you so that you can achieve? Because if you achieve, you'll be happy. And I'll be happy that I've helped you to be happy, and you're happy, I'm happy, we're all happy. And this is great, then I can move on to the next person. So it's that process.
That's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So I guess that kind of leads into the kind of signature question, really, is I think there'd be many people listening who are going, actually, there's lots of things I'd like to achieve, but I'm not doing them. They're almost stuck or choosing to just continue the life as is, just carrying on as normal, but conscious that isn't going to take them to the thing that they want to achieve. So if someone's listening thinking, this isn't, I do want to do something else, or there is something big that I want to do and I'm not sure if I can, what would be your recommendation, the thing to work on first?
Oh, it kind of frustrates me, but yeah, I understand that they just don't know what to do, and it's just like there's a lovely quote.
How do you break that cycle?
How do you interrupt it?
Yes.
There's a lovely quote that says, "We all have 2 lives. Our second one begins when we realise we only have one." You need that wake up moment. You need that catalyst moment. Now, I had that catalyst moment when my my car went off the road. And I woke up and I realised I only got one life. I better start living it. I don't want anybody to have a car accident like that, or something really bad happen to them. And you don't have to. What you can do is listen to my story, read my book, go and look at my YouTube page, or hear my story, and you'll be inspired and motivated to take action. It'll be a catalyst moment for you, and then you will go forward. You need to realise that you have only got one life. You've got to realise that you're just flatlining through life, and that's not good. What do you really want? So the next thing is, what do you really want? And it is a case of going out for a walk, taking yourself away from everywhere else, and just saying, well, what makes you happy? And I know this is quite hard for some people. I always know what my projects are and what I want to do, and I've got so many things, and some people don't. And I go, okay, so you need to start thinking about it, and maybe it's going to be a long process, but imagine yourself in the future and you're smiling. Okay, you're alive for starters, and you're smiling because you're happy, because that's what life is all about being happy. So what makes you happy? Is it about being on holiday more often? Is it about being with your friends, your family? What are you doing with your friends and your family? Have you got money in the bank? That's lovely. Who doesn't want money in the bank? But what are you spending that money on? What do you want? Do you want to help more people? How do you want to help more people? This is blue sky thinking. We're not talking about how are you going to do that. Oh my goodness, that's a barrier, and there's excuses. It's just doing the good stuff at the moment, as in what do you want, and visualize it, write it down. If you want to use words, do that. Draw a picture, cut things out of the magazine. Talk to people about it as well if you can, but start thinking about what you want. And then you'll start seeing opportunities. That's how it works. But then you do the 5 winning ways that will take you all the way to actually achieving it. But first of all, just what do you want? Because life is passing us by every second.
Thank you. I think taking time out away from distraction, away from the noise of everyday life, to reconnect with what we want, why we want it, super powerful. Talking to people, finding out who is out there that can, be in the golden gang, be on the personal board of advisors, be the people that can help guide, offer advice, show you the path if they've done something similar. All super, super important. But I guess the key thing as well is it's in small steps, isn't it? As you've said, you start with that big vision, but then it's re-engineer it back and go, okay, little by little, let's reassess the goals as they go, and move through that way. So just finally, for people, because I know you do a lot of speaking, a lot of one-to-one work with people. If someone's listening and would like to reach out to you to talk about any of the services or ways that you could work with them, what's the best place or the best way to do that?
The best way, well, I'm all over social media like a rash, so not in a bad way, but so don't lean on your excuses. If you want to find me, you can probably just Google me and you'll probably find Steve Judge. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Don't bother with TikTok. I really don't post on that. But those three are the main ones. My website, of course, would be the main one as a business owner. So www.steve-judge.co.uk. And the main reason that I want you to connect with me is if you've got any questions. I've said it already. I really want to help people to achieve. I want to inspire and motivate them. That's my thing at the moment. I say at the moment like it's going to change, but I can't see it changing. But you never know. Never know what's around the corner. If you want some help, if you're not sure what your goal is, let's have a chat and let's see how I can help you. And I think there's a really good thing about collaboration, as in, much as I'll be helping you initially, I'm sure at some point you'll be able to help me, and that'll be karma. So let's do that. And I look forward to meeting all your listeners, Sarah, and helping them the best way that I can.
Wonderful. Thanks ever so much, Steve.
No problem.
You've been listening to The Balancing Act. For mastering work, wealth and well-being, you can head over to the website for further insight, links and resources related to this episode at www.balancing-act.co.uk, and remember to subscribe to catch all the new episodes as they're released.